is a recitation of the poetic expressions of Mir Khurshid Ali. Born in Hyderabad, India, he earned his MBA from Osmania University. His honors also include a postgraduate diploma in institutional management consulting from the Netherlands. He was CEO of a training and management consulting firm before he migrated to the US, and he now lives in Maryland with his beautiful wife and his two wonderful daughters. The focus of his poems has almost always been on people, negotiating with the basic parameters of human equation, love, hate, loyalty, infidelity, desire, sex, emotions, values, culture, etc. Most of the poems in the recitation that follows are from Moments of Obscurity, his first collection of poems. An empty canvas. She paints the canvas in all her moods, in her substance, in her shape, in her own image. And soon every fabric of her being is dancing with narcissism. After a time, weary, exhausted, she sits down on the chair in the center of the room and notices around in the mirrors of her domestic life ugly dimensions of her essence and her form, discrediting her for her act of unveiling. She cries for help as she sees the walls of the room narrowing in. She wakes up and feels very low. And with an intense feeling of guilt, she breaks her brush and smites her colors, staring and staring into the darkness of her ego and her mind. Compromisingly, she smiles. He is no more to her an empty canvas. Nirvana. In the beginning it was broad but shallow, rich in experience, empty of meaning. A change in the end changed the pattern. It was then deep and narrow. Roots it had, but no branches. Years have passed since then, and voyaging on, without absolutes and with no ends suggesting forms and fixity. Life is now an image, undimensional, that is neither light nor word of wisdom, just a comforting shade on a hot summer day for those who are coming the way I came. This, perhaps, is the nirvana of my life. In the moment. In the moment that is neither shadowed by her shady past nor clouded by the frightening future, she sees for herself. Looking down the dark alleys, she finds a reason for rejoicing. She is all in pink. In that moment, in her only moment, does that moment exist? She imagines it does. Night kept the vigil. Night kept the vigil and the secret, as she quietly slipped into an exotic suite of a luxury resort full of passion and lust, and imbued all night her wanton desire, unleashing an uninhibited display of her feminine fire, and disappeared at dawn as the darkness dissolved in light, carrying with her no sense of infidelity or feeling of guilt, just memories of cheerful poignancy, a one-night stand. Broken pain. The man who broke the pain did not come back again. She wished he did, for she's lonely today. She forgot her pain, had even forgotten her shame, but remembered his bitter smell, his rugged body, his freckled face. Remembered how he gently cornered and forcibly had her, and how he broke the window pane while picking himself up, leaving her naked and stunned on the dusty floor. Quite a crush she still has for the man who broke the pain and never came back again. Moments of Obscurity. The lessons missed of love, lustration, wisdom, while strolling through the luminous corridors of self-glory and fame, were learned quietly, walking the streets between moments of absolute obscurity. Hungry stones. On the street, a blind man is singing songs of hungry stones. The blood trickles and trickles unheeded. Perhaps the child with the black marks all over his face has cut himself again. There is something sad about the way broken pieces of window panes smudged with blood disorderly lie, like the toys of a careless child. And the way the child stares into the shallowness of the light outside, and the dark creeping in from his broken panes, and the way he sobs in between the hurling of stones. 100th time, the lonely child carrying sketchy memories of a home that came apart desires to be hugged and told the story of a wholesome life and a happy life. The only voice he hears is the song Hungry Stones. Until they speak. Two pairs of perfect strangers' eyes encounter at the pool of a luxury resort. Minutes later, two impatient bodies are pushing each other longingly to a moment of love. Everything looks so eternally compatible. Until they speak. They spoke different languages. They took different ways. Footnote. For years, I lay buried in the darkness of an obscure anonymity until the little secrets that I shared with her surfaced and made the darkness visible. And now I am a footnote in the books of history. Shallowness. An urge within breaks the silence. Quiet, redeemed, he is different and so is she. How shallow is the act to possess and be possessed. Many-windowed house. It was a many-windowed house with no doors. There was something nice about this house, about the drawn curtains, the lights and the shadows, the quiet and the whispers, the song and the fragrance that came with the air. I sat staring from my window, overlooking this house, hour after hour, day after day, expecting something good to happen. Nothing transpired. Until one day, I lost my patience and I made my way through the many windows. Inside I found a pronounced awareness in living, but no desire to live.